At the synoptic level, a large trough is digging into the Great Lakes and the upper Midwest. Robust upper-level westerlies accompany the trough, and downstream the flow is beginning to amplify and shift. A surface cold front is approaching the southeast quadrant of the US, while upstream high-pressure ridging in the lower levels is building eastward from the central US toward the southeastern states. This push of continental high pressure is setting the stage for a dry, cooler air mass to advect southeastward. In the broader climate frame, we're in mid-October, and the transition from moist summer-type air masses to drier, autumnal air masses is underway. That climatological shift is apparent in dew point trends, moisture availability, and sky cover. The geography, coastal plains, the peninsula of Florida, inland Georgia rolling toward the Appalachians, contributes local complexities such as sea breezes, land-sea moisture contrasts, and orographic influences. Across South Florida, Miami area, we have a weakening frontal boundary lingering this morning, a remnant of the upper-level trough and its surface low migrating north into Canada. This boundary is producing light east-southeasterly flow at low levels, injecting above-average moisture. Low-level moisture values are well above the 90th percentile for this time of year across interior and southwest Florida. The high moisture supports isolated shower potential later this afternoon, though upper-level forcing is weak and the boundary is detached from its parent system, so activity will be limited. Key message: 20 to 30% chance of isolated showers interior, southwest today. Key mechanisms and considerations for flight operations: moisture availability and boundary interaction. In Florida, the lingering surface boundary and elevated low-level moisture are the drivers for the isolated shower chance. But with weak upper forcing, limited ascent, and dryness aloft, especially offshore Melbourne, convective development is suppressed. Advection and surface high building. In Georgia, the primary driver is the eastward progression of the surface ridge and associated dry NW/N flow, which brings down drier air from aloft and flushes moisture out of the column. Sea breeze/marine influences. Especially in Florida, coastal and sea breeze interactions combined with onshore flow and swell conditions are enhancing rip currents and minor coastal flooding risk. These marine hazards should be factored in for aerial operations offshore or near shore. Temperature and dew point trends. Georgia will see lower dew points and cooler overnight temperatures thanks to the high and clean air. Florida remains milder and more humid, but the upcoming front midweek will begin the moisture reduction cycle. Aircraft/aviation impact zones. For Florida, light, variable winds turning onshore. Watch for any diurnal shower development in southwest/interior zones, but operations should remain generally robust. Marine and coastal operations should monitor sea state and rip current alerts. For Georgia, expect clear skies, VFR conditions, light to moderate winds, gusts from west to northwest as front approaches. Minimal precipitation risk, but attention to fuel dryness for ground operations fire weather. Final notes. Today is a low-impact day across both Florida and Georgia from a convective standpoint. No widespread storms, no severe weather imminent. However, in Florida, marine coastal hazards, rip currents, minor flooding, remain a real concern, so offshore operations and beach-adjacent flights should remain aware. In Georgia, the story is transitioning to fall. Dry, cooler, and more stable. Fire weather may become a factor midweek. For airline operations, plan for generally favorable conditions today, but remain alert for changing coastal and marine dynamics in Florida, and changing surface winds/gusts in Georgia as the front approaches. For meteorologists, the key message is the shift of air masses. The Atlantic subtropical moisture is being sidelined by the advancing continental ridge, and the upper trough upstream is forcing the moisture plumes southeast and eventually offshore.